Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to your Finding Your Financial Voice podcast with me, your host, Anita R Johnson. The podcast mission is always to give sound financial tips that you can implement immediately, that you can leave a legacy for your family. Boy, I'm excited about today. Not only do I have my person on the thing for the Affluence, Candace Smith, the boss lady. But I also have our guest TJ Jackson, who's an actor, right? And let me give you, he's an actor and he's a producer. So let me just give you a few of his things, in case you just might have not. Ruthless, have you guys seen Ruthless before? BET Network Plus. And then Honey Bun Runner. I don't know what that's about, but hey, we may have to ask him off camera what that's about, right? And You Can't Save Everyone, which I thought was a great title, and I might need to use it every now and again. So thank you, TJ, for being here with us.
Oh man, thanks for having me. Love that introduction.
I'm excited to hear all about the great things that you doing inside the community. And one of the reasons why we have you here is not only because you're a great actor or producer, but also you have a program called the Wealthy Actor. And
Yes.
Tell us about that. Why did you start that program? And it goes along with what we're trying to do here at Affluence and at the Finding Your Financial podcast. Tell us why that, and what did you do, and why that's important to you.
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. It's an honor and a privilege to be on here with you guys. I think with anything, when it deals with purpose, you kind of just, it kind of finds you, and you accept the call. And I've always been fascinated with stocks since I was a little boy, actually. I don't know why, but I've always been fascinated with stocks. When I was a kid growing up, I was raised by a single mom. Before I moved to Maryland to live with my dad. And we didn't have a lot. And my mom didn't drive, my mom didn't work. So the only time I really got to go anywhere was if my Aunt Teresa came and picked us up. And I played Pop Warner football. And most of my teammates were white, but they were wealthy white. And so when I would go over their house and hang out with them, they got indoor swimming pools, heated swimming pools. They got four-wheelers in the backyard. They got acres of land. They had all of this money and wealth. And being a black kid in Tyler, Texas, and not coming from a lot and being exposed to that at a young age, I knew then that I wanted that. I wanted more. I wanted better. I wanted whatever I had to do to get that. I wanted to learn how to do it. I had no idea then that I would be doing what I'm doing now, but it started there, and it's like with anything that we do when it comes to community-based, it comes from a place of passion and purpose, and you're kind of called into it, and it's a matter of you accepting that call or not. And that's where the Wealthy Actor comes in, because I looked around and it was something that was sorely needed, not just in the actor community, but in the creative community. We have a lot of influencers these days. And many of these influencers, they make money based off the eyeball acquisition. So when they get more eyes that are on the things that they're doing, then marketers or advertisers or brands will pay them for those eyes. They call it eyeball acquisition. But when that money comes in, it's okay, what do you do with it? And most of the times when we book something, that money then goes to either our bills, because we got to pay for our cost of living, or we go on a vacation, or we spend it on something that we don't necessarily need. And the whole purpose behind the Wealthy Actor is to teach actors, creatives, artists, how to take the money that you work for and make that money work for you. So that the money that money makes, you can use that money to pay for your bills, that money to go on vacations, that money to buy things that you don't need. We've been taught for so long, education system, upbringing, especially in the Black community, how to work for money. We have a sense of working hard, which is important and needed no matter what you do. But we've been taught for generations how to work for money, not how to make money.
Well, that's an interesting concept because one of the things that I mean, really is interesting. Interesting, not in the sense that okay, oh wow, I got to get into it, but more or less because when I talk about compound interest,
Mhm.
right? That's basically what you're saying is some compound interest, and so since a lot of us really haven't been taught compound interest, as even as adults, we don't know anything about compound interest. Let's known trying to teach the children behind us or trying to teach our children if we don't know, we can't teach our children. And so you have taken on the responsibility of trying to mentor the actors, that new actors as well as the seasoned actors can come through this program, your program as well.
Absolutely, absolutely anyone. And I targeted to the, the artist theater, community, film and television, but it's for anybody. It's
Okay.
honestly for
Okay.
anyone that want to learn how to generate and build passive income. My
Mm.
whole goal and purpose behind this is to build and generate generational wealth, one backyard at a time.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Candace, did you have a question?
I do. I was wondering what's been the community's response since you've initiated the program.
That's a good question.
The community actually, and it's funny that you asked me that because I've never really thought about it in that, I guess, span, if you will, just yet, because it's still fairly new. Um, but the response I've gotten from people who are either actively mentees now or those that have been exposed to the program is, oh my gosh,
Mm.
like
Right.
I need this. That's the response that I've gotten, like overwhelmingly is, oh my gosh, I need this. Even if they're not ready to get started with the program, they see the value behind it. And I'm so grateful for that because I see the long term. I see the impact that this program can have within the artist community. And I'm excited about that.
Wow. Yeah.
I totally, oh, go ahead. I'm
Go ahead. Go
sorry.
ahead.
I had a follow up just because I was thinking the other day, this next generation of people that's growing up, my generation, when they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? It was teacher, lawyer, doctor. Now this generation has creator added
Mhm.
to some things that they want to do. So this program is really beneficial because I think a lot of creative people give up on their gifts and things because they see that I have to basically stretch the money I get. And it's not like every 2 weeks I know I'm going to get a check. You
Mhm.
can go months
Mhm.
as a creator without getting anything. And so, what do you do then? Most people just return back to work. So,
Absolutely.
to me, this is definitely a right now program. So,
Mhm.
what do you plan to do to really get it out there to the masses?
My vision behind this, because when you see a need, you try to fill it. And I have a servant's heart. So for me, it was one of those, I've always longed and desired a mentor. I wanted Denzel to be my mentor. Recently, I wanted Chris Tucker to be my mentor. I've always desired and wanted someone within the industry who's successful within the industry to mentor me and take me under their wing and show me exactly how to be successful in this. And that's where this comes in. Like I haven't gotten to the point with this where I'm thinking like, okay, all right, I want to branch out or I want to expand it or I want to go and reach this organization. And it hasn't really been that. And I kind of want to keep it at least with that mentality because with that tagline of building generational wealth, one backyard at a time, what these mentees are receiving, it's not just educational like videos or instructions on how to operate in this lane that can build passive income for you, but you're receiving a mentor who is going to go on your wealth journey with you step by step at your pace. And so for me, I still desire to become a leading man in Hollywood. So I don't want anything to take away from that, or I become overwhelmed or feel like a job. But I have a servant's heart and I see something that's needed. And God has blessed me with the exposure and the relationships to where it's like, okay, I have something that I believe can benefit and help others. So for me, it's just a matter of I'm a vessel. Like, Lord, use me how you see fit. If this grows bigger than what I have it as right now, then I'm okay with that. But that's not necessarily the goal or mindset behind it. I want to be available for the mentees that I have as long as they need me until they reach that level to where their passive income covers or exceeds their cost of living. Because that's when you're technically wealthy. Wealth is not about being rich. Wealth is about being free, having the freedom and the time to spend the money that you actually have.
Wow.
And so that takes time to build and generate. And that's what I'm offering.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I love the one backyard at a time. I don't know who helped you come up with that if you came up with it by yourself, but it's
you,
good.
you know, it's funny. It's funny. What's funny about that is that came from, honestly, when I look at everything that's happening in our world, within our community, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many issues, so many things that need to be resolved or solved or fixed. And it was like, okay, I'm just one person. I can't be so consumed and focused and worried about somebody else's front yard if my backyard isn't even taken care of.
Wow.
Like if my backyard is a mess, meaning my
Uh-huh.
immediate family, my own things, if that's a mess, then who am I to try to go and fix somebody else's front yard? Like go take care of your own backyard first. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, the front yard is all manicured and looking
You
good. It
know,
got
the
flowers
front
out.
yard be
The
like a
backyard
front.
got barbecue pits everywhere.
Right. I think of the front yard when people make sure the front yard is kind of like a filter on a photo. You know, it looks good on the surface,
Yeah.
but then when you really dig deep, like they got a lot of mess going on back there.
Got a lot of bugs in it.
A lot of stuff going on back there.
I love it. I love it. Now about your program, what's tell about the curriculum? How's that work? If I was to, go in and fill out the form, because I've been on the website and fill out the form, what would you say? Is it a question like, are you an actress, or are you or a painter, artist? What is it? What does that curriculum and what does that look like to get into the program?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. As I said before, this program is for anybody, anyone who's wanting to learn how to generate and build passive income. But the target, if you will, or the marketing behind it is the wealthy actor. So we use the marketing and branding, because it's catchy and stuff like that, but it's for anybody. So when you go and you subscribe to the program, you get the first 7 days for free. And that within that first 7 days, my hope is that you will be able to watch the welcome video so that you can see exactly what's going to happen in this program, and that you schedule your first week. So I use weeks to kind of like help me keep track of where everyone is. But again, we go at your own pace. So week 2 for you could be 30 days later. And it's just week 2 because it helps me know where you are in the program. But during your first week, we play a game. The first thing we do is we play a game. And it kind of starts dealing with the mindset. I can't bring an opportunity to you if you don't see that it's an opportunity. That's like trying to save somebody who don't realize that they need saved. It's like, so I have to start with the mindset. The first 2 weeks are the most critical for me because it deals with the mindset. We've spent decades of learning how to work for money. No one has ever taught us how to make money. So I have to start with your mindset and changing the way you see things so that you can see things the way wealthy people see things. So we go through 4 weeks. The first 4 weeks is typically how that program kind of starts off. And then week 4 launches your actual journey. So the first thing I ask people when it comes to this is, if you woke up tomorrow morning and money was no longer an issue for you, what would you do? Like, what's the first thing you would do if you woke up tomorrow morning and money was no longer an issue for you? So to give you an example for me, I asked my mom this question, and she had never been asked this before. My mom is 56, about to turn 57 in July. She had never been asked this before, and she said, "I will go to Disney World." My mom is 57 years old, and she didn't say, "I will buy a new house, I'll get a new car." She said, "I will go to Disney World."
I love it.
And so for me, if I woke up tomorrow morning and money was no longer an issue for me, I would call my mother up and say, "Hey, pack your bags. We're going to Disney
Go to
World."
Disneyland, yeah.
That becomes my motivation. That becomes my why. That moves me and gets me up and gets me going on the days I don't feel like it. So that's how the blueprint, if you will, how the program kind of works, and then we go at your pace.
Yeah, because what I like the fact that you start off with the mindset. Of course, that's what I do. As a financial behaviorist, that's what I do. That's if I don't know about you. If people come in, they fill out the form and they want to do a spreadsheet. They want a budget. Really, really, can you help me with a budget, right? And so, yeah, you can create a budget. It's the mindset that behind the budget, the purpose of the money. I always tell people you need to have a purpose for your money. And
Mhm.
so I think that's kind of where you are with this program as well. With that, Candace, did you have something that you wanted to say?
No, those was my two questions.
Oh, okay. All righty then.
Definitely feel like I'm learning a lot. I did mine all together. I had mine and then a follow up, but uh, yeah, because you asked an additional question that I had, which was, what is the process? I guess I can ask, what's your feedback has been, from the people that you've worked with?
Yeah, it's been very positive, and some of them are like, "You can record me, you can post it, you can say it," and I keep telling myself I need to do it. I just haven't gotten around to actually posting people's feedback and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been very, very positive because it's been something that I witnessed that people have never been taught before. People
Mhm.
have never been shown this
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
especially within our own community.
yeah.
We don't talk about it around the dinner tables. We just didn't discuss money and actually making money. We
That
talked
was
about how to
yeah.
go get a job, how to work for money, how to make somebody else wealthy, how to make somebody else rich. We never really discussed
That's true.
how do we actually get that. And here's something that's kind of like close to the heart when we talk about like reparations here in America.
Mhm.
And it's a hot topic and it's gaining steam in some places. And I don't know how soon or how long it's going to take for that to actually happen. Reparations for me is not just about the money. It's about having access to the resources. Like if I had $1 million, but I don't have access to the resource to make that money work for me,
Mhm.
then it's going to be gone in like a year, if not
Yeah.
less. So I need to have access to the actual whatever it is that we didn't typically have access to, so that I can build generational wealth.
Mhm.
It's not just about me; it's about what I'm leaving
Behind,
behind.
right, for the future. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about how we don't talk about. Now, I had two parents who were educators, so what their conversation was. You got two choices to go to college: Grambling or Southern. My parents gave us two choices: Grambling or Southern, right? And definitely was get a job,
Hmm.
you know and but of course, little me was a little hard-headed. And so I had to be in business, right? But before my dad passed, he did mention the fact that he said something to an apology of, I'm glad you did not follow the go get the job attitude, because that doesn't build wealth. That doesn't build wealth or generational wealth. And when we're talking about generational wealth, we're talking about something that will stand 100 years from now.
Yes.
And that's what people don't understand too, is that because we've been taught that generational wealth is that next generation. No, it's what happens for your
Mhm.
great, 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 great children, grandchildren that are not
Absolutely.
even born yet. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. How long has the program been in existence?
Officially, November was the official kickoff. I did
Okay.
a month trial in October.
Okay.
I had reached out to a few actors and I just wanted them to try it out. I offered it for free. And I officially kicked it off in November because November marked the 1 year anniversary for me acting full time. I left my government
Okay.
job to
All
pursue
right.
acting full
Well,
time.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You have a long list. Now, I couldn't read it all now.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
I officially kicked it off in November.
Oh, great.
And
Well,
I have my
congrats.
first, thank you. I published my first ebook. I think it was February 2nd, Groundhog Day,
Okay.
is when my first ebook of the same title was released.
Okay. All right. Well, good for you. We're gonna have to see about getting that ebook. Yeah, definitely doing that. And when you talked about, and I'm kind of backtracking here. When you talked about not talking about money, both my parents, they kind of talked about money. They talked about it. They showed us. Went to the bank. I was able. I came from a small town called Oakdale, Louisiana, probably population 2,000. It's right. And so everybody knew who I was, so to speak. And so I learned how to write checks. We don't write checks anymore. But as I grew into this business, there were women that did not know how to write checks, and I was just surprised at this. And we didn't talk about it, which is called financial socialization, and that's one of my conceptual framework that I'm doing for my dissertation is what's the difference if we talk about money around the dinner table, actually really talk about money, because it's really easy now. You got different kinds of platforms that you can have on your phone that you can do some small time investments of $5, $10, or whatever,
Absolutely.
and buy fractions of stock, so to speak, like you talked about and stuff. Candace, I'm gonna send it back to you one more time.
Well, I have enjoyed greatly listening to the conversation. So, TJ, now you mentioned the ebook, which I didn't know about. What is a little bit more that you will find in the ebook than the program?
So the ebook, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't really marketed or pushed it out there. It's really just a longer introduction to the program. So it's a short ebook to kind of have something out there so people can see more of my story and how I got started. How the Wealthy Actor was birthed is basically what the ebook is.
Okay. Where can we find it?
On Amazon Kindle.
Okay, perfect.
Is there a time limit for people to be in the program, or they can be in it as long as? Okay, all right.
My goal with every mentee is to get you to the point to where you are wealthy. Again, that doesn't mean rich. That means that your passive income covers your cost of living.
Okay.
So that we can answer that question that we started with. That's where we are. That's where we're trying to get to.
And that's good because most wealthy people live off their passive income interest.
Yes.
You're right. They live off of that. they live
that's
off
the
of that.
goal, is to get to the point where your passive income covers your cost of living.
That's right. So what about mentors? Do you need any more?
Oh, I haven't even thought about that. Like, we're what, 6 months, less than 6 months with the program right now. I don't even know what that would look like. It hasn't been a thought.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I am a financial behaviorist, if I want to say something about myself.
Nice.
But anyway, so thank you thank you for being here with us today. Anything else you want to add to about the program? We will have your contact information about the website up on it so people can go to it and look at it and see if that's for them. Like you said, it's open for everyone to see if that's something that they want to do. So we will have that contact information inside the magazine as well as on this podcast as well. So anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just thanks for having all of that up there as well and making it available to people. I just wanted to share that many people might ask, well, what does it cost for this program? And When I first started this, I struggled with that because not because I was like, okay, is this too low? Is this too high? Honestly, because I would have done this for free.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it for free because it's not about the money for me. As far as making the money from the program, it's about the purpose behind it. But what I learned from that October trial run is that people don't tend to value things that are free.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't tend to value the time of someone who's offering something for free.
Mm.
So I was like, all right, I have to charge something. So it's like the first 7 days are free. It's a free week trial so that you can really see if this is something that you're ready for or something that's ready for you. And then it's $5.99 a month after that. $5.99 a month after that.
Really?
That's it.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Me and Candace might need to be in that program.
Right. We could go have. We could go. Yeah.
I'm really focused on building a community.
That's
of
great. Well, good. I'm glad you addressed that issue for us. Well, thank you so much for being our guest with us today and to discuss this important topic and to talk about the wealthy actor. I really am excited about your program, and hopefully we can have you come back, in another year when it's another year's anniversary, and you can tell us how the program has grown because we know that this program is going to grow. And we want to thank our listeners out there, and we want you to make sure that you share, you like, and you share the podcast. That when the magazine comes out, not only do you get a digital copy, but you get a print copy as well. And so,
and Mr. Jackson will be on the cover.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
As the editor
I know.
Financial Fitness for Women magazine.
Will he be our first male on the?
I was just gonna say.
What you say? Oh, write it down.
Making history. Want to do it?
You breaking me down. You breaking me down now.
Yep, and it's well worth it. Well worth it.
Definitely. Yeah, he will be our first male. So congratulations on that, right?
Thank you so much.
So thank you. So this has been Finding Your Financial Voice podcast with your host, myself, Anita R Johnson. And we want to make sure that we know that the mission of this program is to always give you financial tips that you can implement immediately into your life so that you can leave a legacy for your children. So thank you, and thanks for being here. Thanks. I was going to call you Dr. Jackson. Oh my God. Thank you for being here. Thank Candace, who is our editor-in-chief of the Affluence magazine and who is my right-hand person. Thank you for being here as well. So thank you both, and I will see you guys at the top.